I used to believe that good people don't betray you, that the women who love you really love you, don't make deals behind your back, that loyalty isn't something you negotiate away, like a line item in a budget. I used to believe all of that. And then I found out what my best friend did. Her name is Cassidy, and I loved her like a sister for 23 years. It started simple enough. We had a group, 6 of us girls, all co-founders of a small wellness company we'd built from nothing. A supplement brand, clean ingredients, good marketing, heart behind every product. We called ourselves The Circle, which sounds cheesy now, I know, but at the time, it felt sacred. We'd pooled our savings, our time, our credibility. We took out loans. Some of us, like me, had put our entire financial lives on the line for this thing. I was the 6th founder, the last one in, which, as it turns out, mattered more than I ever could have imagined. Things were going great until they weren't. The company hit a wall, a hard one. A manufacturer had cut corners on one of our product lines, and we were staring down a lawsuit. A big lawsuit. The kind that doesn't just close a business, it follows you. Personally, financially, legally. It was the kind of situation where someone's got to take the fall, and everyone in that room knew it. I just didn't know. The room had already met without me. See, while I was handling the PR fallout, while I was the one fielding calls from journalists and angry customers, and our legal team, Cassidy, my Cassidy, was sitting in a conference room with the other 4 co-founders negotiating. And what they negotiated was me. They decided, all 5 of them, that if one founder accepted full liability, if one of us signed documents transferring primary responsibility, the other 5 could be shielded. The company could survive. The brand, the employees, the customers, the 5 of them, all protected, and they chose me, without asking me, without a phone call, a warning, a whisper of what was coming. I found out on a Tuesday morning from a lawyer I had never met who called me on behalf of the other founders, the people I had built something with, the people I had trusted with my whole heart. He explained it so calmly, too, like it was just business, like I was just a number on a spreadsheet. And the worst part? When I called Cassidy, screaming, crying, shaking so hard I could barely hold my phone, she didn't deny it. She didn't fall apart. She got very quiet and she said, "I know, and I am so sorry, but we had to save the company. We had to save the other 5. Save the 5, 1 for 5. The math made sense to her. It apparently made sense to all of them. And maybe, in some cold, calculated world, you could argue the numbers were on their side. 5 livelihoods preserved, 5 families protected, 5 careers continuing on, uninterrupted, while mine burned down around me. But here's what Cassidy never accounted for, what none of them ever stopped to ask. Did I want to be the one? Because that is the question, isn't it? Not whether the math works, not whether 5 is more than 1. The question is, did anyone bother to look me in the eye and say, "We need someone to sacrifice"? Would you? Could you? Can we at least give you the chance to choose for yourself? They didn't. And that is the thing that changed something in me permanently. I've gone over it 1,000 times in therapy, in long drives by myself at 2 a.m, in conversations with my sister who handed me wine and let me be ugly cry messy for months. I've asked myself over and over whether I would have said yes. If they had just asked me, honestly, I don't know. Maybe I would have. Maybe, if Cassidy had come to me first, sat across from me at our favorite booth at that little diner on 5th, looked me in the eye and said, "We're in trouble, and we need you. And here is what that means." Maybe I could have found some version of courage inside me that said, "Yes, take me. Save the rest." But she didn't give me that. She didn't give me the choice, and that is where love ends and betrayal begins. Not in the sacrifice itself, but in the theft of consent. Because consent, it turns out, is everything. It's what separates a hero from a victim. It's what separates courage from being used. When you choose to step in front of something hard, that is brave. When someone pushes you in front of it without warning, that is something else entirely. That is a different kind of wrong, one that numbers can't fix and logic can't justify. Cassidy tried to explain herself later. Many, many times. She said they were scared. She said there wasn't time. She said she knew I was strong enough to handle it. And honestly, that last one might be the cruelest thing anyone has ever said to me. Because being strong enough to handle it should never be the reason someone treats you like you're expendable. The lawsuit took 2 years to resolve. I won't go into all the details, but I'll tell you this. It cost me. Financially, emotionally, reputationally. It cost me things I can't ever fully get back. The company survived, by the way. They rebranded, they're doing fine. I've seen the Instagram posts. I've also seen who Cassidy's become. Or maybe who she always was, and I just never had a reason to see it clearly before. She's still out there building things, still calling herself a visionary, still talking about loyalty and sisterhood and community in her podcast interviews. And each time I see it, something in my chest goes tight and strange. Not rage exactly, more like grief. The grief of loving someone for 23 years and finding out that love was always, somewhere, conditional. Here's what I've learned, and I mean really learned, not the bumper sticker version. The question is never just, what's the right thing to do? The question is, who gets to decide what the right thing is, and who gets to carry the cost of that decision? Those two things should never be separated. The person making the choice and the person paying the price, they should be the same person. Or at the very minimum, they should have a conversation. Because the moment you start doing the math on other people's lives, the moment you start deciding who is expendable and who gets protected, without their knowledge, without their consent, you have crossed a line. And no amount of "it was for the greater good" can bring you back from that. I'm rebuilding now. Slowly and honestly, beautifully in ways I didn't expect. I started a new thing, smaller this time, just me and 2 women I trust with my actual life. We have a rule. Whatever decision could change one of our paths fundamentally, we talk about it, together, out loud. No one gets volunteered, no one gets pushed. Because the only way I would ever agree to fall on a sword for the people I love is if I'm the one who picks it up. That's the whole thing, really. That's the lesson I paid for with 2 years of my life and a 23-year friendship. The math might say 1 for 5 makes sense, but the heart, the moral core of who we are as human beings, it says you don't get to make that call for someone else, not without asking. Not without giving them the dignity of a choice, and never without looking them in the eye. She never looked me in the eye, and I think deep down she knew exactly why.